So we're in marriage counseling this past week, and my pastor recommends that we get joint bank accounts. What's up, y'all? Welcome to Getting Married with me, Miss Ruby. This week is a happy week. I have recovered from quite a few of my doubts. I've reached a place of feeling quite relieved, and it did happen during our marriage counseling session this past Friday with my pastor. He pretty much helped put a lot of things in perspective for me and my fiance, and it just feels so good. You know, the people who talk about wanting to be bachelors and single and date because it has to get boring being with the same person. It's so crazy how when you work on yourself and you work on your relationship and you are with the same person for years upon years, how much growth can stimulate excitement and new levels of enthusiasm for your relationship, no matter how long you're in it. So that's kind of what I felt. This is like I think I may have felt this like once or twice before, but not as strong. I'm feeling like this new sense of just excitement for being in this relationship. It kind of feels new again, and it's all because we're discovering new things about ourselves. So I know you see the title of this video is joint bank accounts. I'm gonna get to that, but before that, I want to talk to you guys about some of the things that my pastor helped us uncover and discuss during our marriage counseling session. We talked about love languages. If you are not familiar with love languages, there's a very popular thing out there. I think it was a book written, don't know the author, but it was titled The 5 Languages of Love. And if you've never looked into it, I always recommend it for couples. It's kind of like a basic standard guide to go off of when figuring out how to communicate effectively with your significant other. So I'll put the link in the description, but basically my fiance and I, we took the love language quiz a long time ago, and we determined that we do speak 2 different love languages. So my pastor recommended that we definitely pay attention to each other's love language, and he also recommended that we become students of one another. Now that's one thing that I've never heard. I'm in this relationship and I am someone who overanalyzes everything, but I've never told my brain to become a student of my fiance. Learn everything about him as if he's someone that I have to understand inside and out in order to pass a class, you know what I'm saying? So become a student of him, and my pastor recommended he definitely become a student of me. And so I thought that that was just beautiful, because now we are going to intentionally be paying more attention to one another, all for the sake of pleasing one another. But all in all, when we discussed some of the issues that I've been having mentally, it boiled down to trust and a lack thereof. I feel like I trust my fiance. I trust him with my life, but do I trust him with my bills? Do I trust him to manage my calendar? Not exactly, and I never really thought about that. So I'm a worker bee, and my pastor basically said that because you work so hard and you're so independent and you're used to taking care of yourself, you've gotten in the habit of that, and while he's sitting here telling you, take a break, I got you, you obviously don't trust that he really has you, because you still work like crazy, no matter what it is. So we gave him an example. I told him, I was like, it's so weird, because oftentimes I think I know how much money he makes, I think I know everything that he's doing, but then he'll surprise me and like buy something that I didn't even think he could afford, or do something that I didn't even think he was capable of doing. And so my pastor recommended that he makes me feel more assured by helping me to have more insight into exactly how much money he has at all times, and exactly what he is capable of doing, and that I open up and become more trusting in him by allowing him to partake in my dealings. And that's where he brought up the idea of joint bank accounts. Now me, I don't really know how I feel about the joint bank account thing. It's honestly something that my fiance and I have never discussed. We never thought about it. Just like when the idea of a prenup comes up, it's like taboo, like I don't know. And so he highly recommends that we get some sort of joint bank account operation going on, and that will require us to have exposure with one another and trust with one another. So I wanted to ask you guys, how do you feel about that? You married couples out there, or couples who've been together for a long time? Do you have joint bank accounts? Do you have joint savings accounts? Because that's the alternative I was thinking about. And if you don't, why not? I really want to know. I've heard a couple of different responses, but I really want to know from you guys. P.S. Look what I got. Oh yeah, invitations. I'm not going to show you clearly because it's a surprise. But we finally got our invitations in after multiple drafts. We got the stamps popping. We got the envelopes popping. I'm getting these things sent out this week, guys. So if you know that you are invited to my wedding already, trust me, I haven't forgotten about you sending that invitation out. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week.
My heart pumping, bleed ruby red. Amazing love.